Hey, this is Val Selby, and after over 20 years online, I can track where my mindset has blocked me. If procrastination, imposter syndrome, and a lack of focus have been blocking your biz, then Val Full Volume is here to help you see choices you are making. Get ready to use your expertise to collaborate like a pro as you create the business of your dreams. Now is the time to make changes and live your best life. Let's get to it. Hello, everyone. Val here from Val Full Volume. And as you can see, how exciting. You don't have to just listen to me today. I know you're here for it and you love it, but it's been a while since I've had a guest. And what an awesome first back to guesting having you on here, Amy. I'm so happy about that because Amy and I have actually met in person. So, and we do live close together. So you'd think we'd meet more in person. We were just talking about that recording. But she's also been online for a long time. So there's going to be who knows what nuggets flying out of our mouths as we talk back and forth. Thank you for being here, Amy.
Thanks, Val. Thanks so much for having me. It's really glad to be here. It's really fun to get a chance to talk to you. Especially, like you said, it's easy to just sort of get burrowed in when we work from home, even though there's people around us. So I appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, and for you guys listening, Amy and I actually live close enough, but then my daughter actually lives even closer to Amy. So I just have to make a priority that that's not an excuse not to meet up with her anymore, because we could at least meet up for a freaking 10 minutes for a hug and a coffee.
Yes. I'm putting it out there.
It could be that easy. Amy, would you tell my listeners about you and about your business, whatever you want to talk about?
Sure. My name's Amy Harrop. Actually, my first full name is Amaryllis, but it's a little bit of a mouthful. So I tend to go by Amy Harrop professionally, and that's usually where you'll find me online. My business that I founded is Succeed with Content, and I've been involved in the online content creation space for, I'd say, a good 12 years. I sort of rebranded my business about 2 years ago. It's taken about 2 years to completely, mostly rebrand it. So you can now find me at succeedwithcontent.com. And I'm super excited, even though it hasn't officially came through. I applied and now will have, I think starting in January, a trademark for Succeed with Content. So now I can put my little trademark thing on the website. So I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Yeah. Funky girls' names unite, because my real name's Valera, not Valerie. So
I like that, Valera.
I love it now. It was a little different growing up, of course. But you just absolutely, because the rebranding's been happening, the switchover's been happening since I took over Bundle Bash completely on my own. And my brain has been telling me, oh my God, this should have all been done by now. Yeah. And for you to be in a similar spot, misery loves company. And I am so happy to hear that.
Yeah, you're right. Because I know you've been rebranding. Yeah, it's taken me 2 years, and there's still like lots of little things where I'm like, I'm not going to go into all of my old content and rebrand every little piece that has my name and change it to Succeed with Content. But we are kind of, as we go along, we're making sure, the sales pages are rebranded, and well, that's mostly done. But, if we're putting more the content out there again to people, we're trying to go through and make sure it's updated. But yeah, it's been very long. It's taken a really long time.
Yeah. Well,
I don't feel bad.
You had even more products.
Yes.
So that's like blowing my mind, and just knowing how every time we would find something, all of a sudden there'd be the tripwire or something that would be attached, and it's like, oh crap, that didn't get done,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be my voice, it wouldn't be the logo, and everything's so different now from what it was 2 years ago that it's like, oh, people are going to be lost. Like, where the hell am I?
You'll get there eventually. I mean, I think I'm about 90% there. I like to say I'm done because I'm not actively, it's more now like if I come across something, I'm like, okay, I need to update that. But I'm not actively going through. I've done all the, fingers crossed, all the big pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same. We're there as well. So what got you into working online? Do you even remember?
Well, I have a degree in film production. I went to film school many years ago in San Francisco State. And when I got out, I moved down to Los Angeles and I worked in the film industry for a little bit. And I didn't really like working in the film industry. I mean, I think, we've now seen the Me Too stuff come out. And I can say working in the film industry at the time, while I met some cool people, wasn't the most pleasant experience. And I was just
Right.
like, I don't really like this. I like movies and stuff, but I don't really like working in the industry. So I got out of the industry and I kind of kicked around and did a lot of different things. I have a lot of sales experience. I got into teaching. I've spent 3 years as a high school English teacher, teaching college level AP English and sort of the upper level. Again, I parts of it I liked. I really didn't like the ceiling on the earning potential and just kind of the long hours and a lot of work. And a lot of teachers, as a kind of a side note right now, are leaving the industry because of that. But I only spent like 3 years and some other stuff. Yeah. So then I got involved with wanting to sort of leave working for other people. And this is when I lived in Southern California. And I started selling used books online with it through Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it because the used book sort of subculture is very interesting and it's fun. But again, it's not very scalable because you really still have to go out and get books and things like that. And it also is very much like Southern California was a great place to do that because there was lots of estate sales. There was lots of like celebrities, wealthy homes and things. Where I live now, Northern Idaho, it probably wouldn't go so well.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I was thinking, well, I like being online. I like having my own little business, but I need to do something different. And that's sort of when Amazon had also recently released, I believe, the first Kindle, and they were looking for people to publish. So, it used to be that if you wanted to publish a book, you had to go find an agent. You had to write a proposal and go find an agent or send your stuff to a publishing company where it would sit in the slush pile. And so now when Amazon started the Kindle and the KDP program, they allowed anybody to publish. You didn't need a gatekeeper, which is good and bad,
Right.
in some ways. But I thought, well, it'd be great if not only could I publish online, but also maybe if I could put together some stuff to help other people. And that's sort of what happened is I did a product on helping people with that. It was called Kindle Kickstart Promotion. And it was sort of about free ways you could do that. And, before that too, I had spent a good year buying a lot of things online, looking at a lot of things. I had joined the Warrior Forum community when it, was back in those days when it was like kind of a community and got to know some of the vendors and stuff. And I thought, well, okay, I'm going to do this. So I did. And it was received well. And I thought it just sort of ended up using a lot of my skill set with teaching and training and sales. And so that was just sort of the beginning and I kind of took off and running. So I don't know if that's a very long-winded way, but that's how I got involved into evolving to what I currently do.
It's amazing how many people I have talked to that have come in through the teaching industry. And I definitely just want to pick their brain at times because especially those that have been in a long time, right? It's like, okay, you've got like different ideas of organizing, getting your daily stuff together, putting the classes together. I'm like, yes, I'm going to pick your brain. But getting them to transition to online sometimes is tough.
Yes.
They associate it as brand new. Like it's totally different. It's like, no. We're just going to smoothly move you on with what you're already doing. We just have to do it in a different format. This is the easy part. As it's not, right? Easy for us after all of these years. So I know that you've got your hand in quite a few different things. I would bet that has to do topics, I should say. I bet that has to do with your love of the books and where all that is. It's kind of the eclectic. I like things. I like to learn things. What right now is your favorite thing to be teaching training on, helping people with?
Well, sort of what I've been focusing on the last year is how do we use and integrate some of these AI tools, and that has become, I know, very much a buzzword. And what I've been developing on this last year is putting together some products what are basically bots, which help people create and accomplish tasks.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a middle ground between having like a high-end software, which I've developed software before and I do have some software, but this is sort of more of a middle ground where it's having like developing a helper for people so they can create content or publish content but making it where it's a little more interactive, because at least for right now, in terms of written content, I have found that some of the tools out there that promise to be like completely push button just don't give you the greatest output, really.
Yeah.
They really don't. So I'm trying to kind of have more of that middle ground. So I've come up with a tool that help people create or pull content so they could publish public domain to make it more unique. So they could publish, like, include like study guides or supplemental material like author history and things like that. Because if you're publishing public domain, you need to have it unique. Like on Amazon is really the only platform that accepts it. I've come out with a study or a bot that helps people create card deck content. So if they want to develop a card deck or a digital card deck, which are very popular now, it'll help them. Like if they want to do maybe an Oracle deck or a deck that's a bit more picture heavy, it'll help them come up with the card meanings. And then it also can come up with art prompts as well if they want to, use an artist or use a tool to help create their art too. So that's kind of what I've been working on more this year. It's been fun. I mean, I think, as you probably would agree with me, I think the marketplace and what's going on has sort of changed a lot, over the last, I don't know, really, I guess since COVID. But even since then, I think things are changing. And so keeping up for it or creating a space for it, has been something that's also changing, I think, even the last couple of years, as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely already changing. And then that was just like smack dab, boom, we are changing now.
Yeah.
If for you guys listening, I have a really good friend and she has used the Oracle bot that you were talking about. Do you call it a bot? What do you call it?
Well, the tool was called Easy AI Digital Card Decks because it was really focused. I've had other card deck products previously where I talked a lot about doing print on demand. And in this one, although I included a bit in the upsell, it was really just more focused on doing the digital decks because those are the easiest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'll have the link down below because I know from talking to her what she's been putting together that this has helped her a lot. So when you're saying bot, because I mean, I'm in AI, but the whole idea of bots and custom chats and now gems for Gemini, is your bot specific to a certain AI platform or does it look like?
Well, you're right. They have now like Gemini and they have custom GPTs. I'm using an intermediary tool where I plug into the back end of the API. And currently the one I'm using is the ChatGPT 4-0 mini, which is really good and also very cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
So the tool I'm using allows you to sort of plug into different APIs. So you can use like Claude's, or I don't know if Gemini actually has an API that they're making available on that end. So it's basically great for me, like as a non-developer, because the tool offers this interface where I can plug into the different APIs and then I can help put together the bot and run the bot. So it's something as a non-programmer I can have, so people then can see the front end of the bot and just have it work through the prompt. And you can take the prompts yourself too. I provide prompts, so if people don't want to use the bot, they can go outside and just run those prompts through Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT if they don't want to use it. So yeah, I know the bot term is kind of vague because there's a lot of different things out there. I've just kind of been using that terminology. But it's basically, like a format where you would say like, hey, I want this. And then the bot will ask you the questions to help you develop whatever the content is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think calling it a bot is fine because my brain does like wrap around, okay, so we've got the chat bot, so we've got that and it's doing its own thing. I just wanted to double check. So if somebody is using your stuff, they don't have to have like the paid chat GPT or the paid anything, right? So that's wonderful. I mean, I know so many of you out there are just like, oh, I don't even know how to dig into AI. And unless you're nerds like some of us, which I don't know how, unless you're a total nerd like I have, and I've been like losing time on using Gemini when I played with it. It's for research. This is the easier way to get it in there and to get using it and to learn to use it. And then you're going to probably end up being a nerd because you're like, oh my gosh, the things I can do. I know you mentioned that you could bring your prompts in. However, I bet it's way different using the prompts through your platform. I
I think
just
it's
bet it is.
better just because it's like more like the parameters, like it's more
Yeah.
focused. Like, so if you bring them outside, because I do test them, I don't test them with every single one of them, but I often will test them like with ChatGPT. You get good results, but I think it's a little bit better because the bot's more like programmed just to think about that and not to be like, oh, let me bring in a bunch of other random stuff,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
sometimes they do. Those LLMs, large language models, as they call them, they bring in like other random stuff as well.
Mhm.
So.
Exactly. Yeah. I used my first custom chat GPT and I don't have a paid version, so I don't use it. Gemini and I connected and chat GPT and I did it. It's like two different aliens that landed in my head, and when I used it, I was so happy because it's kind of like what you're talking about because it let it down to exactly where I wanted it to go. So yeah, I will be hitting your AI tools and just going and seeing and just playing with them because it's fun.
It is. It is fun. It is fun.
It's fun to have that brainstorming back and forth in instant, no matter what time of the day or night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're at the point, and hopefully we won't be, where these tools would replicate the creativity or the genius of people who are creative geniuses. I'm not looking for some tool to be like a better writer than like Jane Austen or Hemingway or whatever. I mean, like writing style of it. But I think for a lot of us where our communication tools and skill sets kind of in the mid range where we're not geniuses, it can be really helpful, especially, with informative writing and business writing and, as you said, brainstorming and tools and processes and just being more efficient. I think it can help with that as well, because unless you're a genius, there's probably some room for improvement there.
Right. Well, and even when you are a genius, can you convey your genius? I
Yeah.
mean, how many people do I know that are like so smart they can't get words out of their mouth, whether they're texting, writing, any of that. It's like Sheldon. It's like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And it's like they're super duper genius, but conveying it is a totally different story and getting it out there. I had an idea and then I dropped it. Oh, I had somebody ask me when I was working with them and they wanted to know, because I know everybody wants specifics and we don't have parameters on AI really for, what's okay, what's not okay, how much AI. And they were asking me, well, how much do you edit? And I'm like, I can't even go into how much do I edit because I'm doing so much editing when I'm working with AI and getting it to figure out that I'm like, it's a constant edit.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I also think too, again, depends what your platform is, what you're doing. I think sort of the issue with AI is what ended up happening is a lot of these companies who've developed it, what they did is they went and they scraped every other people's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't ask permission and they went and they scraped a lot of writers, a lot of people, artists, visual artists and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I will say, while I enjoy using AI tools and developing them and things like that, definitely, it's also somewhat inherently problematic because they sort of developed and released all this stuff without getting permission. And so it's sort of like now they're trying to, as the saying goes, like they're trying to close the barn after the horse has left.
Yeah.
But I know like the EU is trying to put some stuff into place too. So I guess it's kind of like, well, what do we want to do? Some people are purists and saying, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with AI. But again, I think if you're in the sort of market maybe that we're in where we're wanting to create content that people could connect with and buy, we may not be in that sort of purist place. I certainly am not, because I am not a literary writer. I am not like a university professor. I'm wanting to create tools and solutions for people, and we can do that a lot with these tools. But I also think it's important maybe just to recognize like these magic AI tools, which are fantastic, did not just sort of come out of the ether. They would not have been able to be there if they hadn't gone and taken other people's stuff. I think it's important to recognize that, anyways, just.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely slippery. I mean, especially because any of us that have been online, it's our information from, I mean, who knows what website way back in the day that we would not even be using right now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're in the Wayback Machine pulling information, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I know, I mean, like I said, I know you've got a bunch of stuff that you love to be touching on. What are you doing with affiliate marketing at this time? Because I know for me, that's been something that's changed a lot.
Well, I mean, I think some of the players have changed a bit. I still do affiliate marketing. I mean, it's definitely part of my business plan. I sometimes feel a little bit like I'm just trying to catch up because I feel like people who want me to promote their stuff a lot of the times kind of throw stuff out. And it's like, well, if you want to wait till later to promote, you can. But if you want to get in early, then sometimes you're sort of scrambling a bit because you're like, oh, okay, well, I got to get something out there for that. I mean, I think if you're a product creator, it's affiliate marketing is kind of part of your piece because you're not going to be able to provide solutions to everybody for everything, A. And B, your affiliates are often, product creators as well. So they may have stuff that you want to promote. And then you don't want to have it, I guess, go down to some sort of cesspool where everybody's just doing that sort of product creation circle jerk, as they tend to call it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think it is sort of part of that if you want to be in that sort of biosphere of asking people to promote your stuff. Now, there is some people who don't promote other people's stuff very much, and they still get affiliates. So I think there are several paths to take down there, but yeah, I mean, I do have affiliate marketing as part of my business plan, and it's definitely an important part of my business plan. But I do think it's kind of more because I do create a lot of products and put stuff out there. It's just more like a supplementary to what I'm doing as well. It's not like the focus.
Right. Yeah. And when we created Bundle Bash, affiliate marketing was a huge part of our business plan with, running the events and all of that. So when PayPal shut my account down and wouldn't even talk about it, and it's been almost 2 years ago, that's when rebranding, I mean, there was just a whole bunch of stuff all at once, perfect storm, but it absolutely destroyed how I could affiliate market. And be an affiliate because PayPal's the easiest. It is honestly the easiest. I get it because you can just mass payout. It's so easy. You grab your CSV, you go over there, boom, it's all done for you. And it's beautiful. I miss it so much. I miss it so much. But I had to really change because I had really only just embraced the affiliate marketing. So then to have to take that off the table, my brain's just like, now what? I'm finding so many people don't even understand what affiliate marketing is. And I think that that's part of the issue that, you were just talking about. We've got these people that have amazing things. We want to market them and they're going to launch in 2 days and they just gave their information to the affiliates and they're launching in 2 days.
Yeah, I've kind of just given up. I mean, there's a lot of things to talk to. I used to give affiliates or newer people more pointers about things. And now I just don't because there's just so many people that just put stuff out. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. As far as PayPal, yeah, I mean, that's terrible. I know you've talked about that, how you've lost that. I do think in terms of direct sales, I think fewer people are using PayPal to buy stuff. So I don't think there should be any reason why you couldn't get paid not with PayPal. But like you said, it is kind of a little bit more work because you do have to work a little bit with the vendors and you have to get alternate stuff. But I think you can now. I mean, maybe earlier, 5 or 10 years ago, it would have been very difficult, but I think it's doable now just because I don't think PayPal has quite the hold. And like you said, they have shut down a lot of people's accounts as well, so.
Yep. I know for me, one big thing has been it's forced me to be in communication better. Like I put that post in the group and said, all right, this is what I'm looking for. And you were on there, it's like there are plenty of other options. It's just opening my damn mouth and talking to people again, one-on-one. Like, how can we make this work? I want to do your products. Is this an option? Versus the ease that we had for so long of just going and clicking the button and joining everybody's program. And and everybody's got 600 affiliates and 3 people are actually marketing.
Yeah, I know. And then it's different too, because at the vendor level, you can take alternate payments, but it can be difficult at the affiliate level, Like at the vendor level, like you can use authorize.net if you don't have PayPal. I use Stripe and PayPal, and I've definitely seen more an increase in people using credit cards through Stripe than just using PayPal. So yeah, so I think there's different ways around it. And as far as affiliates go, yeah, I mean, I think you and I have both been in this industry a long time. And so there's definitely people who, you have relationships with, you look at their stuff, but it also has changed. I mean, there were people who I used to promote, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, who don't really put out any products anymore, or they've moved out. And then there's been new people who've come in and so forth. So, there's always that sort of calibration of that type of thing, I think, too.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about stuff, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys listening for sure, because we have talked about a few things. I like to keep it a little too a topic. Sometimes my listeners are going, no, she does it. She said it. Is there anything that you would like to leave my listeners with? Any last thought?
Well, I will say that it's a really great time to build up an income stream with publishing and creating and selling content. There are a lot of people online, but there's also a lot of niches online, and there's a lot of tools that make it available, that make it faster and easier. I think sometimes people get very overwhelmed. So I think being consistent, starting small, and doing repeatable actions that you can build on is really important. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of success with people who are already successful, a lot of it is just showing up and doing the work. It's not, like, oh, they have something that you don't have or whatever. I mean, we all have our own skills and abilities, but I think if you can say, okay, I'm going to commit, a half hour a day, or I'm going to commit 3 hours a week, you can start making some real progress,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for being here, Amy, and sharing. Everyone, succeed with content. It'll be down there in the show notes so that you can grab it and go check out her stuff, check out her bots, play around, get addicted to all that stuff like I am. Thanks so much for being here, Amy. I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you, Val. My appreciation as well. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.